All right.
I want to thank you for joining me for another episode of the Past and Present Podcast. I'm your host, Alchemy Gray. I'm here with another incredible special guest that's very close to my heart, my younger sister, a very intelligent woman that's also been giving a lot of her time, her energy to helping others heal. And I'm talking about financially, mentally, physically. She's helping you heal, helping us grow. And we're here right now with my baby sister, Andrea. And we're here to talk about, Andrea, I want you to help me out with this because I know you told me how to say this word, but I might jack it up, so help me out. It's Feminine Hypnotist. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
See, I nailed it. Yeah. I nailed it at one time. So we're here to talk about that. So can you start off with telling me what exactly is Feminine Hypnotist? What is that for the listeners that don't know?
Okay. All right. So for everyone who doesn't know who I am, I go by the name The Feminine Hypnotist, and you can find me on social media under that name. And I named myself that because when dealing with, I primarily work with women.
Yeah.
So that's who most of my clients are. They're women. And when you're speaking of the subconscious mind and just the mind in general, the mind has three aspects to it. Consciousness has three aspects to it. So you have the conscious mind, which is your logical mind, your analytical mind. That's how you make all of your decisions and consciously. But then you have another aspect of your mind that is called the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is constantly running in the background. That is where you received all of your programming and from childhood. So basically from birth all the way up to, I would say, about 12 years of age, you are in a hypnotic state. You're under trance as a child. So we come from the non-physical, we incarnate on earth, and then we have this programming process that teaches us how to be human, okay? How to be on earth. And, everything we learned in childhood from our parents, society, from teachers, from experiences with our peers, things that we experienced in life, things that we witnessed up until that time, we're taking it all in. So all of that stuff gets downloaded into your subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind holds all of your habits, all of your habitual thinking, your belief system, your any past pain or trauma that you haven't released. All of that stuff is housed inside of your subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind informs upon your life, especially if there are some dysfunctional patterns in there.
Mm-hmm.
And any habits and stuff like that, it informs upon your life and influences the decisions you make and how you think consciously. So I named myself the Feminine Hypnotist because the subconscious mind is feminine in nature. The conscious mind is more masculine in nature. So the subconscious mind contains, that's what the feminine does. And we hold and we nurture things. So whatever you take in, whatever seeds you plant inside of your subconscious mind, it takes deep roots, and the subconscious mind automatically begins to nurture it, whether it's for your benefit or whether if it's not for your benefit. And it nurtures it and it helps it to grow, and then it starts to have expression in your life. So, I call myself the Feminine Hypnotist because I want to help people access everything that's sitting up inside their subconscious mind so it can give them access to their unconscious mind, which is another aspect of consciousness. And then it connects you to the superconscious, or what we call God. Okay. So my main focus and my main purpose with all of this work is to assist women and guide women in creating the life that they have always imagined, like the life of their dreams. And assist them in making that a reality through the process of connecting with their subconscious mind in the power of hypnosis. So that's what I do in a nutshell. I just wanted to break that down. And the subconscious mind is like really amazing. Think about a computer. when you think of technology, and we're going into the technological age,
Right.
Everything is digital, everything is technology based. We're going into the Aquarian age. So technology is patterned and created after us, because when you think about it, humans are divine. We come from the creator. So
Right.
we are the greatest creation. So artificial intelligence and technology is patterned after the human brain and the human consciousness. So when you look at computers, you have the hardware and then you have the software. The hardware is what you see on the surface, but then you have the software, which is constantly running in the background. And that software controls everything. If something goes wrong with the software, it throws everything off. And it's the same with your mind. With the conscious mind is like the hardware, and your subconscious mind is like the software. And in studying the human mind and human consciousness, the subconscious mind is responsible for all of the systems of the body working in harmony. You don't have to remember to breathe.
Right.
You automatically breathe because your subconscious mind is responsible for that. It keeps those systems going. Your heart is constantly going. Your heart is constantly pumping blood through your body.
Mm.
Your subconscious mind is responsible for the body's immune system. So it kicks all of these things into gear, and that's exactly how powerful it is. It's constantly running in the background. It takes everything in, it's recording everything. And all of that stuff is literally being downloaded into that software. And it is responsible for how a thing functions, whether it's a computer or whether it's a human being in terms of the mind. So I just wanted to give that background just to paint a picture.
Well, that's all for the show today. Thank you for joining me for the Transformational podcast. I mean, Dre just did my whole show in 5 minutes. I don't have nothing left, so Dre, want to give me a social media? No, I'm messing with you. No, but you gave a lot of information, Harry. I couldn't agree more with everything you said because it's accurate on to everything I teach and talk about on this show. You're right. How our subconscious mind works and how you use the analogy of a computer system and how all of our technology reflects ourselves, which is absolutely, I agree 110%. Couldn't agree with you more. Couldn't have put it better than you just put it. You're absolutely right. So one of the questions I have to ask you is, okay, you only deal with women. Is there a reason that you mainly direct your practice towards women and not helping men?
Yes, there's a very important reason.
Okay.
The reason being is because women we are repositories. We are responsible for holding and containing the vision and the beauty of what is to come. So we literally birth greatness through us. And you can see that on a physical level whenever we receive a seed from a man and we hold and contain a baby in our womb and we nurture that baby until it grows up into the point where it's ready to be birthed, and then we birth that child. So we are responsible for anything that comes into this world, whether it's art, whether it's children, physical human babies, whether it's great ideas, whether it's inspiration, it comes through the feminine. So we play a key role in healing the world, number one. And we play a key role as women in bringing in what's new and better for humanity. So for that reason, not only do we birth all of these things, we also birth men.
Yes.
Male babies come through us. So when we get our mind right, when we get ourselves together and we understand the nature in which we function and express ourselves in the world, then we have direct influence over our children who will grow up to one day be adults that function in the society. And if we're all over the place, and if we don't understand, number one, our place in the world, and I'm saying that for a reason, If we don't understand our place in the world as women, if we don't understand the nature in which we were created, and if we don't understand how we function in the world and how to be rooted in that feminine embodiment, then everything else is going to be thrown off.
Okay, so the next question, just carrying on what you just said, is going to be a two-part question, okay? I'm going to ask you a two-on-one question. First part is, I'm a feminist, okay? I see myself as a feminist. The first year of my podcast was directed towards basically bringing awareness to the struggles of women, the issues that women experience, and bringing awareness to some of the things, even in history, such as the women's suffrage movement, and other things. Because personally, I was raised by a single mother. I have another younger sister I was raised in the house. So, for me, I have a different level of respect and love for women. Living with a single mother, being raised up by my mother and my grandmother, you just see not only the strength of a woman, but you learn to have a very deep appreciation for women. And I love to say that about myself. So I do have more respect and appreciation for women, and I like to highlight that. And I'm not ashamed to say that here or anywhere else. I have my respect for women. I think all men should respect women to a higher level, but also understand the importance of women. Now this segues into my question today. A lot of times the conversations I have with people are about a woman's power, their strength. I have people that come to me and say, a man has it worse in the world. I disagree. I understand that black men, be more pointed, black men has it worse in the world. I disagree. I look at it and point out this, and this is a question I'm asking you. I want to hear your opinion on this. My agreement with that is, yes, a black man has to have a lot of issues they experience in the world. There's many threats on our lives, but so is a black woman. They experience the same threats. Black women deal with other issues, such as they're still dealing with discrimination as far as going out for jobs. There's still an issue with the wage gap. There's a number of other things, stereotypes that black women and women in general suffers to this day. There's a lot of issues that are directed towards women, and though it's been hundreds of years where some things have been taken care of, they're still dealing with issues that have not been addressed as far as women. And then on top of that, women have to deal with the disrespect from their children. My first part of the question is, what are your thoughts on what I just said? I know it's a lot. Second part of my question is, what is a woman's place in this world, in your eyes or in your point of view?
Okay, great question. Great question. Okay, first of all, I first would like to address the whole feminine and then feminist.
Go ahead.
And I do know that about you as my brother, that you have a deep respect for women. I do know that about you. Right. And I thank you for that. When it comes to feminism, I'm not a feminist, and I'm going to explain to you why. Feminist movement that started, in the whole women's suffrage movement that has started, when it started, I don't think that it has really truly served women, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Number one, when you look at women today, even with all of the accomplishments that we have, and I'm speaking for Black as well as white women, okay? Even with all of the accomplishments in the world that we have, women have more freedoms than they ever have before. When you compare the freedoms that in the opportunities that we have now in comparison to women back in the 50s, there's a stark difference. Okay. Because women were primarily in the homes. They were homemakers and wives and mothers, and they were trained in the feminine arts, and that was the woman's place at that time. So fast forward to now, fast forward to the feminist movement, women coming out of the homes, going into the workforce, and basically wanting to do everything a man can do. Right. When you look at the statistics of women now in 2021, women are experiencing depression more than they ever have before. Women are having health issues more than they ever have before, specifically womb issues, fibroids, hysterectomies, emotional issues. Women are on antidepressants. Women are functioning under clinical depression, at alarming rates today.
Right.
Back in those days when women were primarily in the home and they were wives and mothers and they lived they did not have the challenges that women have now.
Right.
And women are primarily, even with all of the accomplishments that they have in the world, working women, career women, they are fundamentally unhappy.
Mm.
And I'm going to tell you why. There's this impression with those who believe in, and I'm speaking about women who believe in the feminist movement, they claim to be feminists. There's a fundamental dislike for men. So they naturally work themselves up to a point where they compete with men in the workplace. They compete with men in regards to accomplishment.
Mm.
And what that does is it takes them out of their core nature. Now, what is the core nature of women? If we were born a woman and we have female sex organs, our primary nature is feminine.
Okay.
We were not created to try to compete and equal ourselves up to a man, because man was created to be the head of his family. And I'm gonna say something that's not really popular, but I say it. I say it all the time, and I know you see me speak about it on my social media and stuff. But I personally believe that the feminist movement is an attack on the family.
Mm.
And I'm going to tell you why.
Mm.
Because what it does is it attacks the family through dividing the man and the woman, who is supposed to be one unit and they work together. But within that unit, you have roles. Like, think of a job. How can a job or a company function smoothly if everybody is bucking for the head position and nobody knows rank and order, nobody respects rank and order, and everybody want to do the same thing? We were not created to do the same thing. We were created to be diverse. You know, homogeny is not even a real thing. We would live in a boring world if everybody was the same. So I celebrate and respect the differences and the distinctions between men and women, including the roles, the traditional. I'm very traditional. I respect the traditional roles between men and women, because those roles is what celebrate the actual expression of men and women. So if I'm created as a woman, I wasn't created to do what men do.
Right.
I'm not trying to do what men do because I don't want to be a man. I enjoy being a woman. I enjoy everything that comes along with being a woman.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be like a man. And I respect men as the head, because man was created as the head. So you have man at the head, and then you have women that comes and supports that man. And then they move together as a unit in a family, and that family contributes to society.
Right.
But what the feminist movement done is it came in and it told women, oh, you're better than that. You know, you can do everything a man can do. And women started bucking, like, I don't want to be a housewife anymore. I want to go out and work too. And I'm going to just take my children while I work and put them in daycare and let somebody else raise them. And then I go and work and contribute to society and gain all of these accomplishments and yada, 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 yada. But the entire time she's going against her core nature, because her core nature is to be feminine. It's like she's trying to co-opt the masculine and be like men. And that is not what truly makes us happy. So now this is why you have women who are fundamentally unhappy today, now more than ever, even with all of the accomplishments, because she's going against her nature and her body is beginning to show. And with me being a hypnotherapist, I'm a firm believer that your body speaks your mind. Your body speaks your consciousness. So whatever is going on in your mind, it shows up in your body. So this is why women have womb issues, breast cancer. They're physically tired and depleted. When you think about how women work, we don't work as hard as men. There's a reason why you all are stronger than us. Studies have shown that y'all brains are larger than ours because y'all were created to be the head and to rule. So our patterns, our sleep patterns are different. We are fundamentally different and distinct from each other. So to say that as a woman, I can do everything a man can do is unnecessary. And it's not true because we weren't created to be the same.
I first should say actions reflect desires. I agree with what you say as far as that, because I'm a firm believer in our actions reflect our true desires. If you know your desires to own a business, then your actions are going to reflect your desire to own a business. If your actions are to sleep all day and watch ESPN and eat cereal, then if that's your desire, then your actions are going to reflect that. So I do agree on that. I respect your point of view. I have you on here because of that, and I want the audience, whether you agree or disagree, to respect her point of view and understand that we all have a difference of opinions and difference of nature. However, I asked her on the show so she could educate me and you on not just hypnotherapists, but feminism versus feminine. I think I just said that right. If I didn't, I apologize. It's still early. But what I will say is this, and just in my difference of opinion, just my humble opinion, I do truly believe that a woman should have the true rights to do as she desires. I mean, I agree with what you're saying, how a woman's true nature. I agree with what you're saying about a woman not being completely happy in her life. And I'll speak on that through a personal experience. I'm pretty sure my wife wouldn't mind me saying this. My wife's in the workforce. She's not happy. I realize she's not happy. She's stressed out. I'm going to make an announcement real quick. My wife's pregnant. I haven't told anybody. She's 7 months pregnant, and it's the first time I'm announcing on the show. But even with that, I had to ask her, like, she ended up having to be on bed rest because of the stress of working has gotten so high. If my wife made the choice to say, yo, I want to work, I want to be a housewife, and this is a thing that's under attack. And people I've been seeing is under attack, that women who want to be housewives, what do you mean you want to be a housewife? You shouldn't want to do that. Why is it such an issue? If my wife want to be a housewife and that's what she wants to do, I respect that as being her decision as a woman. I won't want to compare us to animals, but I want to use this analogy. And please excuse me for this. I was talking to my women about lions and lionesses. And I was talking to my wife about that and how a lioness does a lot of the hunting as well as taking care of the child. So it's truly in her nature to do more than the actual lion does. Is it possible that a woman can be more and not can be a feminist without taking on that analogy of hatred of men? Because I feel like a lot of that is also taught. When you talk about subconscious and stuff, it is family trauma. I want to get on that in a second, family trauma and how it affects women. But what are your thoughts on what I just said? I mean, I'm interested in your opinions.
Yeah, we always have. Now, I just want to say, to the audience that whenever me and my brother talk, this is how we really talk. Like,
yes,
and literally talk for hours. So this is just like a regular conversation for us. But to answer your question, bro, yes, I also believe that women should be able to do whatever she desires. And that's what I do. I work with women to assist them in creating the life that they truly desire according to their own values, but I put the emphasis on feminine. Thank you. Because I believe that women are better served when she operates in her feminine, according to her feminine nature. Now, we're all sovereign beings, right? Including women.
Yes.
She can decide what she desires to do. And I always say that the home is the woman's realm, her place where she can really express her feminine core nature. And she can also express it in the world, but at home is where it starts.
Yes.
But the home is her space, but it's not her place. So if she decides that she wants to go and work, you have many feminine women, very deeply feminine women who are in the workforce, and they bring a lot of value to their places of work in the companies that they work for. So I'm not going to sit here and say that a woman absolutely have to be a housewife, because you have some women, they may not necessarily have children. And while their husband is working or something, he's away, she wants something to do with her time. So either she start a business. I have a business. I'm a stay-at-home wife and a homemaker, but I have a home-based business. I am a transformational life coach, an intuitive guide, and I'm a hypnotherapist. And I work from home. So I can work anywhere. I can be mobile. And, you know, at some point, probably late this year or maybe next year, I will be opening up like a physical practice, like a place where people can come. But right now, I do everything I do from home, and I can still tend to my family. I can still be there for my children. I can still be here for my husband, you know. So there's so many things that we can do as feminine women, and it's all a matter of choice. It don't have anything to do with limiting her. Just because I say that like each person have their place, men have their place and women have their place. I think what happens is people tend to think that when you begin to speak like that, that women have their place, men have their place, they feel like it's limiting, but it's not limiting women in any way. It's actually empowering her, because everything that we do, if it contributes and supports who we are energetically and how we function, we will naturally thrive. And whenever we do anything out and live a certain way that is outside of our nature, it begins to show up in our life. It begins to show up as disease, whether it's mental or physical. So the proof is in the pudding. And that's why I said your body and your lifestyle speaks your mind. Whatever dysfunction shows up in your life, whether it's in your body or in your life, it's a result of what's sitting up in your mind, what beliefs you have, what habits you have, what patterns you have. You know, so yeah, women, we can do whatever we put our minds to. And I'm also a firm believer that just because a woman can do something, because as women, we will step up and do what we have to do, especially in circumstances where we are single mothers. We put our laptop up.
Oh, good. It gives me opportunities.
Especially in situations where,
No,
yeah, especially in situations where women have to step up and be a single mother if she doesn't have a partner or a husband. You know, women always do what we have to do. But the question is, just because she can do it, should she live that way all the time? Like, take it on as this is just who I am. Just because I stepped up and I did this out of necessity doesn't necessarily mean that this is good for me in the long term, you know. And, you know, women of color, and I want to speak to this. I'm sorry for rambling. I hope I'm not rambling.
Yeah, you're not rambling. Yeah, go ahead.
But I really want to speak to this because there's something about Black women or women of color that I feel like Black people in general need to let this go, to be honest with you.
Yeah, talk about it.
But Black women in general, there's this huge emphasis on Black women remaining strong. And I think that comes from the plight of people in America, our experience as a race in America. They're coming from slavery on up until now. And it originated with white people, Caucasian people who saw Black women in Africa, and they automatically assume that Black women, because they're from Africa and we live the way we live, that we can withstand large amounts of pain. So, okay, going through slavery, so many people have survived slavery in America, in different parts of the world. And there's this emphasis on Black women and Black people in general, but also Black women surviving. So what that does is it puts you in a perpetual survival mode, and you have to stay strong. You have to keep pushing, you know, and what that does is it takes us out of our femininity. Because once again, we step up and we do what we have to do. But just because we step up and do what we have to do doesn't mean that it's good for us in the long term. And we have taken this on as an identity. A lot of Black women have taken on that I gotta be strong, this and this and this and that. And then you wonder why you're not fully fulfilled. Because when you partner with your man or your masculine counterpart, he is your strength. That man is your strength. You can lean on him as the woman, and you can exhale and breathe and let your hair down without having to be strong anymore. And this segues into something else I wanted to say. Now, keep in mind that not only do women, all women, not just Black women, have more freedoms than they ever had before. I feel like Black people and people of color as a whole, it is important for us to let go of the victim consciousness.
Hold on. Let's hold on to that for 1 second, because I don't want to get too far, because I definitely want to touch on that real quick. Just hold on 1 second. See, this is why our conversation is 2 and 3 hours long. See, it's your fault, because you have all these great points, and then you bring up points that we just like going everywhere. See, this is why when I get on the phone with you, it'd be night and morning when I get off with you, because we be talking, it'd be so many great points. You made so many good points. So okay, hold on. I want you to hold on. We'll get right back to that for a second. So first thing I want to touch on, I got asked, so you got all this stuff going on. I thought I had a lot going on. When the heck are you sleeping? That's first of all, because you think what sleep. That's first of all. Second of all, we talk about a woman knowing her place, a man knowing his place. So I'm not gonna lie to you. First thing came to my mind, and don't be mad at me, is listen. I was like, so I'm keep seeing dudes getting these units on their head and these fake wigs and stuff. They're thinking like, what is Drea thinking right now? Is Drea saying that we shouldn't get no more weaves? We shouldn't not get no more units or nothing. But yeah, I agree with you, what you're saying about a woman's power, a woman's purpose and everything. But I want to add clarity to one thing before we jump back into what you segue to. I just feel like it's very important to say this, because we talk about women's strength, and especially a Black woman, and how a Black woman is supposed to be perceived as strong. And what does Drea mean when she's saying that? So for instance, and Drea, please speak on this as well, when a Black woman goes into a hospital, she gives labor. You expect a Black woman to not need assistance with pain medication. That's for people who goes to the hospital, because she's supposed to be strong and she's supposed to deal with that. You act like a Black woman's supposed to deal with a man cheating on her, and she's supposed to be okay with it. She's not supposed to ever cry. She's never supposed to show weakness. And that's a huge misconception, and it's a very important point, because I agree with Drea 120%. That is something that's a misrepresentation of Black women, and it's pushed on Black women, that you're supposed to be strong, and because you show weaknesses, or that you show true feelings or anything else, and if you show how you feel or any emotions, that means you're weak. That's the furthest thing from the truth. And I just want to add clarity that what Drea is saying is 100% accurate, that we need to stop with that misnotion that Black women have to be strong, and that they're not strong because they're not living up to someone else's standards that they created. So I just want to speak on that. I just felt need to speak on that before we went any further. Then you went on to talk about letting go of not the slave mentality. What was the word you used? The
victim complex.
Victim complex. So can you please continue on with that? I apologize for interrupting you, but I had to touch on that before we jump to that next subject real quick. The victim mentality, because I got a lot to say about that too.
No, because I feel like it's a beautiful, the point you brought up another, and that's why I like our conversations, because they always flow.
Yeah, we get busy.
But I think that you brought up a point that something else dropped in as I was listening to you say that, instead of having this emphasis on being strong, what I say for myself, because I am a woman of color, I say, I'm resilient. I don't care what I experience. And I've experienced some pretty tough things in life, but I can always bounce back from it. It doesn't break me. I bend, I maneuver, I'm resilient. I don't have to be strong. I can be completely a woman and cry and allow myself to express when, allow my emotions to come up. I don't have to pretend that I'm strong and hard and like I'm a man in order to prove myself, because that's exactly what it is. It's like you're trying to prove yourself in some way. I don't have nothing to prove. Because just from me being here on this earth as a divine being is proof enough that I'm worthy. So I don't have to prove anything.
Yes, preach.
So I allow myself to be vulnerable and soft as a woman, and there's potency and power in that, and that's what people don't understand. A lot of women, especially women who do identify as feminists, they feel like that in order to be powerful, you have to be like a man. And men are powerful. Men are very powerful, but women are powerful too.
Yes.
And we are powerful when we accept ourselves fully and we allow ourselves to be who we truly are. Women are naturally soft, women of all races. Black women are not an exception. Just because we experience what we experienced in history, that's in the past.
Right.
But we have the power in the present to really show forth and prove our power and potency as a woman, because the feminine is not weak. That, contrary to popular belief, the feminine is not weak. The feminine is resilient and very powerful.
Yes.
And we have to get back to that. And to be honest with you, what you stated about the hospital and how Black women are almost expected to be strong, that's our responsibility to knock all of that down and show people, no, I don't have to be strong. I'm resilient. And whatever I experience in life, I can move through it with grace and bounce back from it because I'm constantly growing and expanding. But I don't have to be hard and brittle and just like I'm made of type, like a man in order to prove how powerful I am. I don't have to do that. So I think that as women, we have to get back to appreciating and respecting ourselves and seeing the value in ourselves so that we don't have to jump out of our femininity in order to prove how powerful we are.
I agree.
So I just wanted to make that point. And then to answer your other question, what was your second question? About victim
complex. Yeah, victim complex. Before you say that, though, if we answer that question, I know I keep cutting you off with this one, but I have to agree with what you said about your true power. I'm not going to go into your history. It's not my place to do it, but I'm just want to speak to my audience real quick from my point of view. Mm-hmm. She's been through a lot, okay? And I tell her this in our personal conversations. Listen, I don't blow smoke in my guest ear when I'm talking to them. I mean what I say what I mean. Which she overcame, and I'm not expecting her, and it's okay, you don't have to speak on it, but she overcame in her personal life to be the woman she is, to not become a victim, and this segues to what she's about to speak on, to not become a victim and allow herself to be victimized, to show her strength as a woman, as a mother, as a wife. I'm telling you, I'm impressed by what she overcame, because I know many people who went through less and were not able to even become half of what she's doing now. So her strength and what she's speaking to you, trust me, if you're not going to listen to anybody else on what we're speaking about today, believe me, there's a reason I speak to her for 2 and 3 hours at a time. There's a reason our conversations, because I admire, I respect what she says, and what she says is true. And I walk away feeling 100 pounds lighter and a lot smarter when I talk to her. If you open your mind and your spirits up to listen to what she's saying to you right now, you're going to feel the same way. Now, we talk about the victim mentality with Black people. I keep cutting you off with it, but let's jump into it. You said that we need to get out of the victim mentality of Black people. What's your thoughts?
Okay. Oh, first of all, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I also think highly of you. I want to speak to that very quickly. When you hold the belief that you are resilient, and I want to say this to women as well as men, when you hold the fundamental belief that you are resilient, I don't care what you've experienced in life. Everything that you experience in life is contributing to your highest good. Mm. Even the undesirable stuff, even the painful stuff, the stuff that you deem traumatic, it is not happening to you, it's happening for you. And there's always lessons in those experiences that help you become the person that you are. You don't go through those things for no reason. Nothing is by coincidence. Mm. And you learn something from it. If you're very mindful about life and you take the time to sit back and process life in general, the good as well as the bad, if you want to say good or bad. Right. You take the lessons with you and you keep it moving. Okay. And you don't allow those experiences to define you as a person.
Yes.
And that's what I mean by resilience. you know, because you have some people, they'll go through experiences and they're still bitter and angry. So they take on this persona like, I'm strong, and, you know, they're emotionally fragile underneath that. All you got to do is hit them and they'll crack open. You know, that's the difference between being brittle and strong and resilient.
Preach.
So that no matter what you experience in life, you will flow through it and just keep it moving and just continue to ascend and become better. Yeah. And it's not even about becoming better, to be honest with you, because you begin to take on that attitude of trying to fix yourself. You really don't even need fixing. The only thing that you need to do is we're basically unlearning. It's not about you learning anything. It's about you unlearning the stuff that is not really yours and was not really the truth. So that's what it's all about. But speaking to the victim consciousness, what I mean by that is victim consciousness, what it does is you take on this mindset that life, everything that happens in life is happening to me. This person has done this to me. These people over there are constantly subjecting me to persecution and pain or whatever. And what victim consciousness does is it's very disempowering. It strips your power away from you, because you take the power that you innately have, which comes from within, and you externalize it. And you say that this person has power over me. And these people are constantly doing this to me, or this man done that to me, or you know, it's like you're finger pointing. So I mentioned victim consciousness because as a whole, and I'm gonna do this in two parts.
Okay.
Black people or people of color as a whole, and also women. Now I'm saying women in general, because to be honest with you, the predominant belief amongst women, to be honest with you, is feminist. And feminists don't trust men. A lot of them don't trust men at all. They might say they do, but there's a fundamental distrust for men. And feminists believe that the patriarchy, or the world as it is ruled by men, is designed to crush women and keep women down. That's the fundamental belief. So it interferes with the way that they relate to men on a daily basis and in general. And it causes a divide, and it causes disharmony between men and women. Okay. So I say that because women do carry the victim consciousness. It's very prevalent in women today. Now, I'm not saying that women have not experienced undesirable things in regards to dealing with men. You know, a lot of that stuff has been coming up last year when you think about what happened with the sex trafficking and R. Kelly and all of that stuff, you know, crimes against women. Yes, these things do happen. But on a personal level, as a woman, and this is what I teach all of my clients, and this is what I say to everyone that I coach. Your life is your creation. Your life is a result of all of your choices, all of the decisions that you made. Anything, any inaction or actions that you take is what creates your life. So I literally tell my clients, you create your life. You have the power to create your life. You have the power to change your life. Now, in regards to men, I can't sit up here as a woman and point the finger at a man saying that he's trying to hold me down or he hurt me without first looking at myself. So if a woman is in a relationship with a man and he hurt her, whether he abused her, whether he cheated on her, whether he didn't step up and do what he was supposed to do as a man, I got to first examine myself. Like, what are my thoughts? What are my beliefs as a woman that made me choose him? Right. Because there's power in choice too. So you got to ask yourself, why did I choose this man? What was the intent behind, what was driving me when I decided to allow this man into my world? Do I have self-love issues? Do I feel like I'm not enough and I just kind of settle for any type of man who comes my way? Do I have standards? Do I really truly know my core values in life? Most people don't even know what their core values are.
True.
And your core values are basically the principles upon which you build your life. Did I take the time to court this man to see if our values align and coincide with each other before I decided to get into a relationship with him? Most people don't know how to court. They don't know how to choose partners properly. They just happen to fall into relationships or situationships. So when stuff happens and a woman gets hurt, the first thing she want to do is point the finger at the man.
Mm.
And she didn't look at how she contributed to the situation. Am I a foolish woman? You got to be real honest with yourself. Am I a foolish woman? Do I take the time to think before I act and do things? Am I quick to open my legs to any man who comes my way without first seeing if we're a good fit? You got to ask yourself these hard questions and really look at your patterns of behavior, and it will show you exactly what you create in your life and the type of men that you attract into your life. All of this stuff is twofold, and I can take it further out. Go ahead.
No, this is why I say I can't talk to you on a show. I need unlimited amount of time because, see, this is what you do to me. This is what you do on the show. You be coming up with so many good points that I be like, yo, I can go, yo, we got to go here, we got to go there. Because you got so many great points in what you're saying. And John, I just want to, like, I'm sorry I got to interrupt because I don't want to run out of time here. There's so much to go cover. But yo, I have to just speak on, like, yo, it's true. Like, I say this to ladies and women, not just on the show, but in personal life. Listen, you have to take responsibility in what you attract. And I have to say this to all ladies. I want y'all to listen to what I'm about to say from a man's perspective. Know the difference between a man and a boy. And let me clarify that for you. There is a difference. There is a unique and distinct difference between a man and a boy. And a lot of times you get into these relationships and one, like Drea said, you're not taking responsibility for your part in this. But one of the biggest parts that you're not taking responsibility is you're dating a boy. You're ignoring that a boy has told you and has showed you that he's not grown up yet. He's not mature yet. He's not in tune with being a man or what it means to be a man, how to respect or treat a woman. And he showed you all this, but your desire, your attractiveness to whatever you're attracted to, whether it's his looks, his financial status, his clothes, his car, whatever you're attracted to, has took over your subconscious and made you make a choice to decide on this man and let him in your life, even though he does not have your best interest in mind, and he has told you and proved that time after time again. So you have to stop ignoring the signs, and you have to understand the difference between a man and a boy. A man has, in majority of cases, has learned more about his core values, what he wants, what his desires are. And if he's truly pursuing a woman, he's pursuing a woman to help and assist with what he and they're trying to accomplish. He's not only focused on his goals, his desires, but he's in tune with her desires, her goals, and is just as much invested in helping her grow and helping her achieve her level of success as his own. So Drea is speaking to y'all, and she's teaching y'all, take some responsibility, ladies. Take some responsibility on what y'all are choosing, who y'all choosing. But Drea, I have to, oh man, I got so many questions. I'm trying to remember what the question I had to ask you was. I have to ask you about this real quick. And this goes back to what you're doing with helping women. Would you say that you are helping women find their power? Not saying that you're giving them their power. Would you put it as what you're doing with the hypnosis as a way of helping women to find that power that's buried deep inside themselves and learning how to teach them how to release it into the world?
Yes, I would say that. You know, hypnotherapy is very powerful. It is very powerful because what it does is, instead of what most people try to do when they want to make a change in the world is they'll try to go outside of them and try to shift things around, but that's not where it's at. Everything starts from within. That's where it starts. You got to make those shifts within yourself first, and then everything outside of you will automatically shift. So what I'm doing with my hypnosis practice is taking women and pointing them back within, because that's our realm.
Right.
That's the feminine sphere. And what we do is, I show them what is there. I take them, I guide them through the difficult task, and it's very difficult at first with looking at everything that is there, looking at what they created, the good and the bad in their eyes, and really being honest with themselves and say, I created all of this. I'm responsible for all of this. And it's not easy to face yourself like that. And so when I sit down with my clients, we discuss the things that they would like to create, what they would most like to create. And then we discuss the things that they want to let go of. Now, this can be anywhere from fears, phobias, belief systems that no longer serve them, old ways of being and patterns of thinking and habitual patterns. All of that stuff is sitting up in the subconscious mind. And we go in and we basically reprogram your subconscious. And then when you make those shifts from within, your life automatically, and you take the inspired action. Once you plant those new seeds in that fertile soil, you take inspired action towards what you truly desire to create, and you cut off and stop any actions that go against that. Your life will automatically transform. And that's the power of a woman. Our power is not in going out and trying to prove how powerful we are. It's when we make those shifts within us, the inner realm. Women are natural mystics. That's why women in the church are very spiritual. Men are spiritual too, but women, we're naturally connected to the divine or God. That's our, and when we inhabit that inner sphere, everything around us changes. So that's where our power and our potency lies.
Well, I would say women are the closest thing to God. I mean, and where I would elaborate on that is women give birth. What does God do? God is a creator. Women are creators. They give birth. Like you said, you have a mystical being and an instinct to have closer ties to these spiritualities that a man could never even begin to be attached to. And it's not to downgrade men or to belittle men. It's just to point out the obvious truths that we a lot of times ignore. But I want to, before we run out of time, because I know you have a lot to do today, and I know we're limited on time, but before we run out of time, I just want to point out one more thing. So the services that you offer, now we know you give the hypnosis service. Okay, so what do you do before that you give the hypnosis, and what are some of the things you do after to assist your clients to help find their greater being and unlocking their subconscious? What are some of the other things that you do in your services for those who are interested in utilizing your services?
Okay. So one of the things that I do is very soon I will be launching a group coaching program called Creating Paradise. I'm in the process of putting that together now. And I am literally going to, it's a 4-week, like a 1-month coaching program where I'm going to walk women through like a deep dive into specific areas of life that they would like to transform. And, I will be utilizing a lot of hypnosis in that, as well as coaching. So I do a lot of coaching, one-on-one coaching. And what I do is transformational. So I'm not one of those coaches who are like cheerleaders. I'm not one of those coaches. I am an intuitive guide. So I'm what you would call clairvoyant, or I'm a seer. I can pick up spiritually on a lot of things. So the work that I do in my coaching practice is very transformational. So if you want to work with me, you have to understand, number one, that it is not going to be easy. Transformation is not meant to be easy, because you are literally killing off aspects of yourself that no longer serves you, and you're allowing that to die. So it's a form of alchemy. It's a form of spiritual alchemy. And it's really, it's fire. That's all I got to say. So transformational coach is what I do. And I take the mind, body, and spirit approach. I believe that all of it is connected. Your body, your mind, and your spirit, all of it is interconnected, and it contributes to life as a whole. So I take that approach. And I also, with that coaching, I offer my hypnosis services to go a little bit deeper in making those changes. I also do past life regression. I don't know if anybody believes in past lives, but I do. I think that we have had many lifetimes. Whenever we transition from this realm in the earth plane, we go back to the all. And then sometimes we have the option to come back and experience life in a different body, in a different time. So past life regression is something that I'm very passionate about, because I feel like it can contribute to healing on all levels. Once you go back and you witness what experiences you may have had in a past life that is contributing to any dis-ease or disharmony in this lifetime, because each lifetime informs upon the other, depending on what you've experienced in a past life. And I also do virtual hypnosis sessions. I'm not doing any in person right now, but at some point I will, once COVID, I don't know what's going to happen with that.
We got 2 years left.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so that's basically what I do. When I meet with my clients, we sit down, we have like people who never experienced hypnosis before. I do like what you call a suggestibility test. You have some people who are more analytical than others. Men are mostly very analytical, so I have to take a different approach. And I have done work with men before. My husband is one of them. So it may take them a little longer to get into a state of trance. So I have to take like it's different techniques. Hypnotherapy has a plethora of techniques to help people get into a state of trance. But you have some people who are more analytical than others. Some are more receptive than others. So I do suggestibility tests to gauge where they are, and then I make my approaches to, creating their script from there. And then after we do the intake interview, I literally guide you into trance, into what we call an induction. And it's like a script that I write. It takes you using like metaphors and visualization, and you literally relax your mind and relax your body. And when your body relaxes completely, your conscious mind, the thoughts just kind of fade to the back, and that's when you get into the state of trance. And that's when you can actually put those thought seeds that you want into your subconscious mind a lot easier when you're in a state of trance with no resistance whatsoever. So, and after guiding a person into trance and then bringing them out, I meet with them. Depending on how many sessions they have, I would like for them to keep in touch with me weekly to see the shifts that are occurring in their life. We come up with inspired action to help support what was introduced to their subconscious within a session with me. And I make it very clear to people, don't expect hypnotherapy to be some type of miracle, like it will solve all of my problems, because you still have a part to play. After you experience a session with me, it's your responsibility to go out and take the actions that will support that change. And that's what helps bring it, integrates it a lot easier. So you can't sit down and just expect and look around and wait for a miracle, because it won't work. You have to actually engage in this process. And, I use my coaching to support that, so that's what I do. I love what I do. I enjoy what I do. I mainly, as you can see, I'm more metaphysical and spiritual in nature. I'm not religious, so this enables me to work with people from many different backgrounds. I feel like I can just talk to anyone and assist them in working through, whatever they desire to work through. So that's what I do.
Sounds good. Remember, faith without work is dead. So
that's right.
You do the work. So even though my sister Drea is going to help you out, unlock your subconscious, unlock your true power, help you live a better life, help you overcome all these things that have held you down and held you back from success, You have to put in your work. You have to do your work. So remember that. Drea, you do videos all the time on live. And I want you, can you please give the audience right now your social media, any
Yes.
information, how can they contact you if they want to schedule a consultation or to get this done? Can you give them your information? How can they contact you? Where can they learn more information about your services? Where can they find you?
Okay, you can find me on Instagram at the Feminine Hypnotist. You can find me there. You can also find me on Instagram on my personal page. It's public. It's at I Am Lush Paradise. So, and then on Clubhouse, I don't know if everyone is on Clubhouse, but on Clubhouse, I am the Fem Hypnotist. So that's FEMHYPNOTIST, the Fem Hypnotist. And you can find me on Clubhouse there. On Facebook, I am Andrea Gray. So you can find me there, and I go live on Facebook as well. I don't really do lives on Instagram. I mostly post, but on Clubhouse, I will be opening up a lot of rooms talking about a lot of this stuff. So you can find me on there as well.
Okay, I'm gonna put all that in the description tab. So if you're interested, I strongly actually utilize it. As Drea said, you don't have, it doesn't matter your religious background, it doesn't matter what your thoughts. She mostly works with women. So fellas, sorry, maybe later we can talk back to Drea, check back in and see if she's working with the fellas. But for all the ladies out there who want to unlock their consciousness, unlock your true power, unlock your true strength, become resilient as you already are, what's built inside you, then this is your opportunity. This is your time to stand up, to speak up, to take back power of your life, control your destiny and your truth, live in your truth. I want to thank you for joining me for another episode. You can always hit me up, Facebook, Past the Present. I don't know why I keep telling y'all that, because I should check it more. If you messaged me on that and I haven't got back to you, I'm sorry. I will soon, but the best way to get in touch with me is on Instagram, Alan the Great. If you have a comment, please comment below, like, subscribe, share this video, share this information, even if it doesn't apply to you. If it's someone in your family, someone in your friends list, someone at work, someone you run into at the supermarket, someone you run into at the hair store when fellas y'all want to buy those wigs. Share this information so that someone can be helped, someone can be rejuvenated, so someone can experience their growth. Because even if it's not you, someone needs this information. So as always, like I said, share, subscribe, like, comment, all those good things. Drea, thank you for joining me. We have to have you back because there's so much more I need to talk to you about. There's some questions I didn't get to ask you, so I'm going to have to actually come back on to educate me more, educating me and informing me. I've learned a lot, and I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me. I know you're busy, you got a lot to do. So until next time I see you or talk to you people, I only got one thing left to say, y'all. Stay tuned. Peace.